All right. Welcome everybody back to the show. You tap back in with your boy Troy. I got my man Roberto here, PR and DR. And today we're going to be discussing what we like about living here in the Dominican Republic. And for me, I'm gonna start it off. I think the best thing about living here is the political climate. We don't have to really deal with what's going on back home in the states. We're both from the states. So for me, early on, like I came out here in 2020. I purchased a home out here in 2020, and I was just getting, kind of tired of the political climate that we had back home. It wasn't, it was just it's too much. Here you get away from all of that, and um, one of the things about being here, um, you have an opportunity. Well, you're not a minority. If you're a person of color, you're not a minority here. So it was kind of like it's kind of different. You don't really feel. Um, I'm trying to express how I felt in the states. You kind of constantly felt on guard especially when you're driving. If you're driving a nice car, I had a Porsche, so you know, if you know, you know. So no, just the stress level when I got here, it went so down, man. I'm telling you, I think I probably put about 10 to 15 years on my life moving here because I was stressed out. Just working and living in the states was stressful for me. It may be a beautiful thing for certain other people, um, and I respect your views and your opinions on the states, but I hope that you can respect mine. That it wasn't the same experience for me that it might have been for anybody else. But I felt a lot of stress when I was in the states. So the number one thing that I like about living here is that I don't have that stress on my back. Um, Living here, like it's peaceful. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
it's the tension.
yeah,
Just like
it's
a lot
tension.
of tension. You walk into these stores, and you treat it so differently
Right,
just because you're a different color.
right,
People look at you differently.
hmm
It's just a whole different feeling,
right.
and I don't get that here.
You don't get that here, and it's not just that we come to a country of people of color. I was in Germany when I was young. I was in the military, and that was get it. If you get a chance, go to Germany. And when I was in Germany, I was in the stores, and I'm gonna tell you two stories because it kind of ties in. When I first got into the military, I went to Savannah, Georgia, right? And I cried. I cried, and there's two instances I cried to my mother. I had my uniform on, right? And I used to take pride in my uniform being
Hmm.
straight. People tell you I might not have been the hardest worker, but damn if I wasn't sharp every day. So got my uniforms pressed up, my boots is shined up, and I got off work and I went to the mall. And I remember being in the mall and I held the door. I was stationed in Savannah, Georgia, and I held the door open for this older white lady because she's older, like gray hair, white lady. And when I held the door open for her, she walked by me and grabbed her purse and looked at me like this. And I had my uniform on. And I remember calling my mom and I was like, Mom, like, I was like, no matter what I do, I'm always going to be seen as,
Yeah,
like as a nigga to some of these people. And I remember crying to her and my mom was like, I'm getting emotional now thinking about it. I remember my mom saying, like, I remember my mom getting emotional. She was like, it's all right, son. It's all right. It's all right. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And I was like, yo, it's no matter what you do to some people, you're gonna be seen that way. I'm like, damn, I got on. We used to call it the monkey suit. I said, I got the monkey suit on. I'm shined up. She knows I'm in the service. I'm in the
yeah.
service to protect her, and she still treated me like I was a common criminal. And that's when I realized I was like, man, I knew then, and it was a good thing that happened because some of us run around thinking that we can tether and we can get close to some of the majority of the people in the states, and they're not gonna look at me like that. They don't look at me like that, and I'm like, it's never gonna change. It's like it's ingrained in some people to
Yeah.
just not accept us. And I was like, we can't do I always remind, because you got Irish people and Italian people. I had a conversation online with them. I was like, you guys don't remember your history. You don't remember when you came to America. They treated you worse than they treated some of us. Like they really spat upon y'all in the Italians and the Irish. I said, but the only thing that you guys had in your favor was your skin tone. You were able over time to assimilate into the race. So now it's like, you can still have your racial identity or your identity from your homeland, but you don't have to worry. You don't. I can't hide this. You know what I'm saying? I know some of us that look like me, they wish they could hide this and they want to assimilate, but there's no matter what job I get, how I conduct myself, I cannot fully assimilate into the country because of my skin color. You're gonna see my skin color. It's not like people like, oh, you African Americans or you black people, that's all you see is race. We have no choice. We have no choice.
Because I experienced that working at a job I had, and my coworkers started talking about black people, and they were saying the N word and this and that, and they seen that I got upset.
Right.
So I told them, look, I appreciate if you guys don't talk like that around me. And I went off on them, literally went off on them.
Right.
And they were like, oh, but you're not black, you're Latino, you're Hispanic. I said, but if you seen me walking down the street and you didn't know that I was Latino, what's my skin color?
Exactly.
You're gonna call me the N-word too.
Right.
I said,
Yeah.
and not only that, my wife at that time was African American.
Right.
My children are African American.
Right.
So I took offense to that, that they talking like that.
Right.
And I went to HR on them.
As you should.
And HR really didn't do anything,
Because it's like, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, that's the stress level right there. There's nowhere to go. There's no,
Yeah.
when the police are harassing you, who you gonna go to? You know what I'm saying? When your job is harassing you, and say you don't have a state job or a corporate job, say you at a mom and pop organization, and the owner is the owner's son or the owner's nephew that's
Yeah.
being racist. What are they really gonna do?
Nothing.
Not a damn thing. So
Fire you.
if I find a way to get rid of you, and the code. We had this joke when I worked for the government. The code that what they would do is they came up with, I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe with him here. That's how they get you up out of there. I don't
Yeah.
feel safe. So you can't I couldn't raise my voice at work. I'm not being passionate
No.
about nothing. I'm being angry. So
It's
I
almost like you're walking
on
on
eggshells
eggshells.
everywhere you go.
Tiptoeing.
So when you come here, and it's not, listen, I've been to other white countries. Like I told you, I was in Germany. Man, we all right. German women have an affection for black guys, for black men. I mean, my older NCOs, my older sergeants would tell me that before I went there, and I didn't really believe until I got there. All right, throw that out the window. They like black men, but the people were cool. Of course, if you head to East Germany, like Berlin, you're gonna run into the skinheads and Nazis. They would always tell us, don't go there. But when I was in Ramstein and when I was in Kaiserslautern, man, these were some lovely people, man, lovely. And don't get it twisted. Like I went to a white high school, and I think I resented that growing up. Like I went to a white high school. I wanted to transfer to like Dover or Penn or something. My mother was like, "You're crazy. I'm not doing that." But I appreciate where I went to school at because I know the difference.
Right.
I know the difference between a white guy that's trying to be funny. I know the difference between a white guy that's trying to be racist. I know the difference between a white guy that's going to act like he don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I was in those scenarios. It prepared me for the world. To, you know what I mean? Because I got white friends. I know some of my black friends. They didn't DM me or they instant message me because they'll see a white guy cracking a joke with me in the comments and shit. Like, man, who is this man? I'm like, nah, that's my man. We go back to I got my man Ben. We go back to shit. Me and Ben we became tight in 5th grade, man. And this white guy, this is my boy, man. Like, this is my man. It's like I see Ben, we picked right up, and I got my man Jason that I was in the army with. Jason Cowan. Me and him became like I got some real. I got my man. Oh man. Oh my God, the dude I used to work with. He was an intern. Dave. Dave Uppercut. That's my like. I got some solid white friends. You know what I'm saying? Um, but like, it's a handful. You know what I'm saying? Because like, I don't know, man. It's just like you said. You don't feel like I don't feel comfortable. Like I go places. It's like how the record scratches when you walk into some places. Like there's a really nice bar behind my house in the States, and I don't really drink, but my boy's like, man, come to the bar, come to the bar. My man Dave, he put me on. I mean, you live right behind the bar, like one of the best bars on Route 40. And I remember walking in the bar, and everybody just was like, it was like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, and Dave like, yo, Troy, come over, man, come on. I'm like, man, like, yo, let me just get a beer and get up out of here, man. But being here, I don't have the obvious, you're not the obvious minority. I'm a minority because I'm foreign. You know what I'm saying? I'm a foreigner. But unless I open my mouth, you can tell. Like, I let me stop saying that because we walk different. We move different, and they can tell. And now I can tell. Like when I see tourists coming down, I can definitely tell you're from America. If you're black or whatever, even if you are a Latino and you're from the States, I can tell that you're a foreigner when you get here. It's just the way that we move, the way that we walk. They move and walk differently here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna take it back to like I lived like a couple hours out of New York. And I remember a couple of friends that I met in college. Or in the military, they lived in New York. When I would go see them, they would always tell me like, "Yo, you walking too slow, man. You're gonna get us robbed. You're gonna get us stuck up." They used to be like, "He said we can tell you're not from here because you walking so slow." I'm like, "Man, I'm looking at these damn buildings and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm taking this in." He was like, "In the city, we moving, moving."
The other thing about here too is you rarely see them in shorts.
Yeah.
They always have long pants on.
Yeah.
So you can identify like who's from here and who's not.
It's hot. I'm putting on shorts. You know what I'm saying?
And they don't wear shorts.
They don't wear
shorts. They always wear jeans.
That's an Italian thing too. That's an Italian thing too because I'm a big Sopranos fan, right? And I remember one time, Johnny Sack, he was one of the bosses in New York, had ratted on Tony. He said he went to Tony's house. He had a cookout, and Tony had on shorts. And he went and told Carmine, who was like the big boss over everybody, and they was somewhere and Carmine was leaving. He's like, "Hey, Tony, one more thing." He said, "Yeah, Johnny Sack told me he went to your house for a cookout." He's like, "Yeah?" He's like, "Hey, listen, the Don doesn't wear shorts." So it's like, it's kind of like they don't wear shorts here. They do not. It'll be bleeding outside. It might be. Now, the younger guys,
some of them.
Some of the younger guys.
I would have to say 95% of them always wearing
jeans. It could be hot. It's hot out here, man. I don't know. Like, as my mom always teases me because she know I don't like the heat. And like I'm a different person when I that's how you get me out of character. Get me hot. Let me be in a hot temperature. I'm out of character. I'm irritable. I'm probably gonna get into if I were to get into a fight, it would probably be in a hot temperature. I don't operate well. Like I don't even want a woman next to me in the bed when it's hot. Like, don't touch me. I don't care how fine you are. If it's hot, get on. But they do love to wear some jeans out here. They like some jeans. Like the men, they're not wearing jeans. And now, you know me, I'm it's hot, bro. I got these skinny legs out, man. It's hot. It's hot. I don't really like the food selection because it's kind of redundant. But I will say this: I didn't like rice like that before I got here, but man, I love me some rice now. I didn't like beans, but man, I love me some beans. These are three things that I didn't like that are staples of this: rice, beans, and avocados. I did not like them.
Flagship.
I can't get enough of them, man. Like I can go somewhere and just eat beans and rice. You know, I don't have to have meat all the time. Like I can eat like that. It's not a problem, man. So I will say the freshness of the food here is amazing. You can't hoard food here. It's gonna go bad because it doesn't have all the preservatives and stuff in it
Yep.
to keep it. So if you buy something, you have to eat it. Like
I like seeing the trucks driving down the street
with the fruit,
with the fruit,
Oh, yeah,
selling
man.
fruits, you know.
fresh garlic,
Yeah.
fresh onions, fresh carrots, pineapples, mangoes. Oh man, especially when it's mango season. 'Cause I love me some mangoes. Man, I love fruit. If anybody know me, they know I love to drink juice. I make my own. I just made some juice a few seconds ago. Like I make my own juice. Roberto will tell you we be out what I'm getting.
Chinola.
No, I'm
Or
fucking
lemon
tomorrow.
juice. Yeah.
I'm a lemonade drinking motherfucker, man. So, but that's what I like about it. And then the weather.
And get in a car and 20 minutes you at the beach.
Yeah, well, shit. I'm 8.
Yeah.
8 minutes, I'm there. So, but the weather, like I know I complained about the heat, but the sun and the importance of the sun and my mood. When you work in the States, now this is what I love about the States. We get up. I get up 5 o'clock, 5:30. In America, we start at 5 o'clock. People are where I'm from. I'm on the East Coast, so we got Wawa. So people, Wawa, 7-Elevens, or wherever you're from, that morning, that 24-hour gas station. I used to go in my neighborhood before work. People are already in there on a wide awake, ready to go. I'm getting to work. Here, man, you can rob a bank 5 o'clock in the morning here at 6 o'clock. Nobody's up. I got the whole, sometimes I feel like I got the whole island to myself. I know if I get up at 5 o'clock, 5:30, I walk around my neighborhood. I'm the only one up. Nothing's moving. People don't start moving till like 7:30, 8 o'clock. Now everybody's rushing. Everybody's rushing to get where they got to go. I think that's why there's a lot of accidents. Because everybody's trying to leave at the same time and get there. But in the States, being up in the morning is a beautiful thing. But I say that to say this. I used to get up at work, to go to work at like 5:45. I want to get to work early so I can get off early. Just so I can catch an hour of sun. Because in the wintertime, you get up, it's dark. You get off work, it's dark. And you're just completing that same cycle. You're not getting no sun, and your mood is affected. That's why people on the East Coast be grumpy in the wintertime. There's no sun.
Yeah,
You're not getting no sun. Here, man, there's so much sun.
You're leaving us dark. You're coming home is dark.
Here it's just sun, man. We might get some rain. It's cloudy today. It's been a little dreary, but it's the wintertime. So, but we get a lot of sun here. I appreciate the sun here.
What do you think about the new administration?
Here?
No.
Or back home?
States?
I think when somebody,
I'm just glad I'm here.
I'm glad I'm here. And I'm going to say this. When somebody tells you who they are, believe them.
Yeah.
It's not like they haven't been saying this, they're going to do this, or they're going to be that way. They say who they are, and they standing on it. So It is what it is. But what I will say is this, and you can timestamp this. What you put out is what you're going to get back. These next 4 years, and we're due. Let's pay attention to what happens. You know what I'm saying? Whether, but you know what? I will say this, and I got to give that administration credit. I don't know what was going on behind the scenes, but nothing major broke out. He seems to want to kiss the ass of all the people that want to do, harm in the world. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's North Korea, whether it's Putin, China. So if the man is going to keep world peace and he's going to keep us out of wars and keep soldiers from going over to different countries and killing innocent people behind whatever reason, then all the rhetoric and all the shit that he says, I think is worth it. If lives are going to be preserved, it's going to be worth it. But I think it's going to be something domestic that's going to happen. We have domestic terrorism, but because of who's doing the domestic terrorism, it's not really a big deal.
It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
Because he released all the insurrectionists.
Yeah. So our domestic terrorists just got out of jail.
I wasn't okay with that. I mean, he's been saying he was gonna release some sort of it didn't surprise me.
Because but
I'm not okay with that because he's supposed to back the blue.
That's what I was going to get
That's
to.
the thing, he's always back the blue, back the blue. You're not backing the blue there.
The
Come on,
blue-
they attacked the police officers. They went in there, they did what they did.
No.
And you're gonna release them?
Yeah, two things. As a police officer, how could you even? How do you feel about that as a police officer? Is it because a certain group kicked your ass that day and messed up your fellow officers? Is that the reason why it's okay, or you don't feel away? But how do you feel about them being released for what they did? Me personally, no disrespect to the police, but you guys have not had a stellar relationship with people that look like me. So I feel bad, but I don't really feel that bad. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think you guys really feel bad when your fellow officers are gunning down innocent people of color. So I'm kind of the same way you guys feel about, you probably like, damn, that's messed up. That cop shot that kid, but So when those cops was getting their ass kicked, I was kind of like, that's messed up, but But what I do have a problem with is the people that built that Capitol building were my ancestors, right? People that designed it and built it. So I have a sense of pride about Washington, D.C., because Washington, D.C. was built by the people that look like me. And it's beautiful, the monuments, the Capitol building. But what they downplay is what they did when they went inside the building. You desecrated the building. You went in there, people they defecated or pooped or shit in there. They pissed in the hallways and stuff, smoked weed, vandalized. I know they're just going to show you them walking through the aisles and the peaceful shit. But, those are things that happen inside of the Capitol building. And if you got any sense of pride, you're supposed to be a patriot. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's okay? Do you think them people should have got out of jail? I think they should have served their 4 years. But, just being in jail, I never had to spend a night in jail or in prison. But just being in there a night is terrible. So I think, hey, man, they did get some time. You know what I'm saying?
And he said that. He said, well, they've done plenty of time.
Yeah, they've done some
3.5,
time.
4
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
But, okay, so how about the people that are in there right now? They've done plenty of time. They've been in there 7, 8, 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Are you going to release them too?
Right. Well,
that,
he knew.
that's the problem.
I'm gonna tell you, Donnie, you gotta give him credit. If people think he's dumb, he knew he was gonna be running again, and he needed them people.
Yeah.
So he knew that was his base. So I can't turn my back on my base, no matter what they did in there.
Yeah.
Those are my people. Those are the people that's gonna get me in the office.
Yep.
So I gotta get them out. I don't have a problem with what happened. And the thing that I always say is like, how do you feel as a police officer? Or someone that has family members that are police officers? Because your brother is a cop. How do you feel seeing them get? That would be like
slap in the face.
Slap in the face. That would be like, I'm trying to think.
It's not cool. It's just not good. I mean, it gives them. It almost like creates a situation that they're gonna feel they can go out there and do whatever they want because they'll be able to get pardoned again.
It's funny you said that. Now, you've seen already like online little incidents of racial things. Now, did you see that the white guy pulled the gun, had it to the black girl's head at the gas station like this, and was pointing at her? Now he's been arrested. Well, what do you think emboldened him to make him think that he can do stuff like that?
The situation, that same situation.
Yeah. So when you don't crack down on that, it creates I can get away with this.
I can get away with it.
I can get away.
Why
with
not?
It. Yeah.
Let me do it.
It's not. Listen, trust me. This is not a racial thing, because there are black people that love the current administration. There are Puerto Rican people that love the current. There are Mexican people that love the current administration. It's not a racial thing, because it's amazing to me. But for every act, it's a cause and effect for everything. So what you're going to see is within these next 4 years, they're going to start peeling back protections.
Yeah.
And when it starts to affect you or your family members, you're gonna be like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, and it's not racism. It's
No,
right or wrong.
it's right or wrong.
And that was wrong. What they did was wrong.
Yeah.
Attacked the Capitol, and
It's
it was
wrong.
wrong for him to pardon them.
Right. But
It was wrong.
it's
And
wrong,
and
right?
it was wrong for a lot of these Congress people to sit there and when the news is trying to ask them, how do you feel about it? They just keep it on walking like, oh no, I have no
I have
comment.
no comment.
No comment,
I have no comment.
It's right is right, wrong is wrong.
Yeah,
That's all I have to say. And that was wrong.
Yeah, so I mean, like, but the beautiful thing about it is people ask me or we be online. Remember this one person, because everybody's tough online. And I got a rule, especially in the Facebook groups here on the island. This one white guy had said something to me one time, totally off subject, older white guy. And I told him, I said, listen, I got one rule about online. Don't say nothing online that you will not say to my face. I said, because if you feel comfortable saying that and typing that online, fine. When I see you, stand on it. That's all it is to it. And I told him, I said, you know what? The thing about here is you probably don't have a gun. And when you call the police to show up, they're going to look like me. and it's going to come down to probably who's going to pull out their money fast enough.
Yep.
So I'm just going to beat your ass. So if you got something that you're going to say disrespectful online, I'm going to make you stand on it when I see you in person. And I haven't had a problem out of them since. I was like, yo, you can feel that way. You can talk however you want to talk online, but just, as men, I'm not going to make a big scene. I'm going to tap you on your shoulder if I see you in Jumbo. If I see you out and about, if I see you at the beach, I'm just going to tap you on your shoulder.
I don't know. It feels like it's that sense of entitlement.
But it's
always been that.
It's always
But
been
I remember I was at a resort and it was these 4 white women.
Right.
And one of them said, oh, she needs to learn how to speak English.
At a resort.
At a resort. In her country.
In her country.
So when they're in America, speak English.
Right.
When they're in their country, speak English. I like, you're in their country. I think you need to learn how to speak Spanish.
Speak Spanish.
So it's just, and I came this close to turning around and telling her, no, you need to learn to speak Spanish.
You're in the country.
But I think she knew I wanted to, because the look I gave her, like, how dare you?
How dare you say that?
Yeah.
In another incident that recently happened, black guy married to a white woman. And this is the solace that I take. You look at this, you do the census and you look at the way that the direction the country is going. I might not be here. 50 years from now, it's going to get real brown. It's getting real brown in the States.
Yeah.
It's getting real brown. And not to say that racism is going to go away, but it's getting browner. And I say that to say this. There was a recent incident online. Black guy, real estate developer. Him and his white wife moved into a nice neighborhood. Black guy's coming home. He's got his Christmas lights up. He's looking at his Christmas lights and stuff. White woman stops him in front of his house. He's pulling into his house.
Yeah.
And he's like, can I help you? She's like, what are you doing here? He's like, I'm going to my house. I live here. I don't believe you. And she runs off, help, 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 oh my God, help, help. Running away crazy. White wife comes out because they come back. And she was like, trying to explain what happened. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. She says, and he was following me and it's lying. It's all on camera. It's on the Ring camera.
That's like that incident in Central Park.
Yeah, lying. He was like, I didn't do that. I was coming to my house. She's like, we live here. And she was like, and now she's online crying because you can say what you want and do what you want. But there's gonna be, that's the beautiful thing about America. You can run up, nigga, all day.
Yep.
Freedom of speech, right? But what you don't have is the freedom of repercussions.
Right.
They have a business. Husband has a business. Business is getting flanked with bad reviews and comments. She was an influencer, one of those people that go on social media and try to sell products. People in her comments tearing her up. She had to make herself
You gotta
private.
hit them where it hurts.
You got to hit her with hers in the pockets.
Yeah,
She tried to make herself cry. Wasn't no tears coming out.
and not all of them are like that. You know, not because
No.
I have a lot of good
I'm
white
not
friends.
I'm
you
not
know.
even going to do that
It's-
because
yeah.
white people do. They be like when they get caught in some racist shit.
Yeah,
I got black friends.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to do that.
right.
I'm not even going to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's common sense that it's not all of them.
Right.
We know it's not all of them. But, and it's the same thing with my people. We have to check the ones that are in our community doing dumb shit and messing things up for everybody, just like they need to check.
They need to check.
Just like that white woman that was her husband, because he was real cool.
Yeah,
It was his wife that came out and was getting in her ass. And she was like, no, he lives here. But he was, so it's not going to come from us.
right.
It's going to have to come because we've been marching and protesting and burning shit up. It's the same. It's like the same things happen over and over and over again. I realized back when I was 19 and 20, when I held the door, even I'm thinking I'm at the height of blackness. You know what I'm saying? I'm the safest black person. I'm a soldier. You know what I'm saying? I've signed the contract to die for you, for everybody in the country. I'm not just protecting black people. I'm saying, you know what? Here's my black life. No, despite the slavery, despite the civil rights, despite Jim Crow, despite the racism, I'm going to put on this uniform and represent the country. You should feel safe. And by her grabbing that bag and holding it like that, it let me know it's never going to change. So I've always had in the back of my mind, I'm going to get out. I'm going to experience what it's, and thank God for the military, I was able to experience what it's like to live outside of the country. So I'm like, okay. And I remember as a kid, and a lot of people that look like me can attest to this. If you went to school with white kids, you've heard or you've been around white people, or you've heard people say, "Go back to Africa." Why don't you just go back to Africa? That's not a bad thing. It's not. Listen, you can make. What COVID has taught us all is you can work online anywhere in the world, right? So you can make your money in the States and you can live somewhere like here. And with flights and stuff, you know, the reason why I chose here is because it's so close.
Yeah.
I can get home real fast if I got to. I can be home by lunchtime. If it's a problem
3 hours.
back home,
Yeah.
something happened, I can be home by lunchtime. You know what I mean? I can be home. It's not bad leaving the country. You don't have to stay there and just complain. Because if you're going to stay there and you're not being active or being like an activist to create change, or you just sitting there complaining, oh, I got the white man on my back. Do something about it.
Yeah.
Do something about it. I can't demand. Do something about it. Leave or become more active in your community. Become political.
Yeah. A lot of people can't really talk on stuff like that
Because of their
they
job.
never experienced
They
it.
never experienced it.
As far as the racism,
Right,
as
right,
far
right.
as being of color,
Mhm.
because you've never, they've never experienced it. Some people, but it's not like that.
It's not like that.
You don't know it's like what it's like, and you don't know how I feel. 'Cause
Right.
I'm the one experiencing this
Yeah.
type of racism. Is not you.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a hard pill to swallow.
It
when,
is.
when you're treated so indifferently
Mm-hmm.
just because of your color.
Yeah, like I'm telling you, man. I always tell people. Remember they came out with Black Lives Matter. Listen. I'm not a fan of the origin of the people that were running Black Lives Matter, because I saw it for what it was, and I called it out back then, and I took a lot of flack. But just Google the founders of Black Lives Matter homes in LA. Just Google that, and then do your research on how she got those houses and what she did with that money. Just go there with it. But I understand the premise of it. You know what I mean? I understand the premise of it. We have leeches in our community that get paid off racial tension.
Oh,
And I mean, I don't. What's Al Sharpton going to do?
Yeah.
Al Sharpton is one of the biggest ones. I mean, Al Sharpton can't kick my ass. Al Sharpton is the size of one of those poles right now. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm not scared of Al Sharpton, but you got people like Al Sharpton that they'll flame. These are the flames.
Yeah, they'll
And
fan it.
they'll fan it,
Yeah.
and then they'll shake down an organization to pay them to douse the flames. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I'm gonna make things bad, but I want you to go through me to make things. And I'm gonna tell you, I had something happen to me, and I contacted his Action Now network, and because it wasn't lucrative enough, and they was like, we can't do nothing with that. But let somebody, you know what I'm saying? They got, but you know, when it's a tragedy, when a cop kills a kid or something like that, you look at the people standing around them.
Yeah.
So we have people that are not really helping our community. They help themselves and then help our communities. Like you get paid. Like I call them professional activists. Like they want to get paid to help people. And when you like somebody like me, I was a social worker. Yeah, it was my job to help people, but I wasn't doing it, and then I wasn't helping people, and then
You
being
wasn't
like,
lining your pockets.
I wasn't lining my pockets. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've had people offer me bread that I've helped. I was like, nah, I can't take your money. Like, this is my job. You know what I'm saying? So when you got a professional activist, I always have a problem. And another one is my son.
Who's the Reverend? What was his name?
Oh, I know he had
The president. What was his name?
he ran for president.
Yeah. What was his name? You know who I'm talking about.
Well, Sharpton was the reverend too.
But the other one.
Oh, Jesse Jackson.
Jesse Jackson.
Jesse, messy
Oh,
Jesse.
he was
Messy
one that
Jesse.
would come in too.
Jesse, I'm gonna do my Martin Luther King impression. Maybe I shouldn't do it because we're so close to Martin Luther King table. He's like, stop chasing them hoes, Jesse. That's Jesse's problem. Jesse, that's the thing, like, our leaders, first of all, no one has elected you to be our leaders. Like, I see Dr. Umar and who told you can speak for me? I can speak for myself. Like, that's the problem. Like, we're all citizens. You see what I'm saying? Like, what happens with our leaders, they get corrupted, whether it's through women or money. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Power corrupts people. I don't care who you are. Get a little bit of power, get a little bit of motion. It's going to corrupt you.
Oh yeah.
And the first thing they're going to throw at you is some money. You know what I'm saying? What happened with the Black Lives Matter, the NFL thing with Colin Kaepernick? They threw him some money. Have you heard from him since?
Nope.
Like, do you really think he's trying to play football?
No.
Threw some money at him, he piped down.
He's well off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Threw some money at Jay-Z for the Super Bowl. Okay, we're gonna let you do the Super Bowl. You let you charge the Super Bowl. Haven't heard, I love Jay to death, but Jay is the ultimate businessman. And it was a meeting they were having, and they were asking him about marching and stuff. And he said, I think we're past that now. It's the money. Money corrupts people, man.
It does.
It corrupts people, man. I don't care who you are. Money. That's why people be like, I be seeing these people begging for super chats and begging for cash apps and stuff. I'm like, where's your pride? Like, I got too much pride. You know what I'm saying? I think my upbringing and just, God has definitely, I tell people laugh and they may think I'm full of it, but I think that the reason why I'm living like this is because of the work that I put in, and I didn't ask for nothing. I didn't have my hand out. I wasn't trying to line my pockets. I wasn't trying to get over on
But
people.
you set yourself up.
Yeah, I did. And that and thank God that I got in early on Bitcoin. Like, so, I kind of wish I still had it. I was still sitting on them Bitcoins, because boy, you don't even want to know how much money I would have right now. But Bitcoin definitely, I should put a Bitcoin sign on the front of the house, because it definitely took care of, it definitely got me up in this house. But I think that just the person that I am, but you know what? Because I helped somebody out, that's how I got on the Bitcoin. I helped this guy out that was a veteran, and he had told me about it. He's like, man, they got this thing, man. I think you should try to invest in. This in conversation.
Yeah.
And this is when it was like, I don't even want to tell you how low it was. It was low, and I went and got it. Yeah, and that's just for me being my person, just me genuinely helping people and not looking for nothing in return. People will look out for you. I had this one job that this guy came into the office. He was a vet. He owned commercial real estate developer. And I used to work on the window, help him with his disability and stuff. He said, man, I'd like to hire you, man. He said, if I had you, he was telling me, he said, man, you know you're black and you're a vet and you're disabled too. He said, man, you know how many contracts you can get with the government? He said, man, and the way you talk and the way you handle yourself. He said, man, offer me a job, but because of that, that mentality that I had that, I got a federal job and, black people like, you got to get yourself a federal job. You got these benefits. You don't want to walk away from that. That's the best thing going. So I was like, nah. But thinking back, man, I probably would have been a millionaire by now if I had got with that guy. I let him walk right out of the office, and that's probably one of the biggest regrets I have in my life is not taking that job with that commercial developer, because he was getting to it. We sat and talked for hours, and he was like, "Man, I would love to have you work with me, man." And
Sometimes we miss out on
we miss out on opportunities. He didn't say work for me. He said work with me. I was like,
it's a difference. Work for me.
Yeah, he said work with me. Because but it was, he wanted to use this to get some contracts too, because he was probably missing out on some bids. He was like, if I had a black guy with me and you went in there with me, but it would have been mutually beneficial for the both of you. Yeah. But that's one of my biggest regrets. But one of the things I love about being here, man, I'm always going to go back. Number one is just the stress. Like, my stress level is so low, and I won't even allow you bringing. You can't bring stress to my door. Like, you can't.
But what's today?
Saturday. Every day. Every day is Saturday. You wake up. It's Saturday. Every day is Saturday.
That's our running joke.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Every day, man. Every day is Saturday. Now, I want to shout out the Dominican route and my man Manuel, because Manuel was like, it's Saturday for y'all because y'all on vacation, but it's Saturday for us because we retired. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different feel for us, and I acknowledge that, and I recognize that I'm blessed and I'm here, and I don't want to, because it was he did a reaction to a guy online that went kind of viral, and he was like, Dominicans, I got a question for y'all. Why do y'all leave here and go to the Bronx and go to New York and go to America when you have all this beautiful island? And they're poor. You know what I'm saying? They want to go make a way so they can come back like how I am now and then live out there. Some of them get assimilated to the States and they'll stay. They don't want to come back. Yeah. And I learned that from dating. I had an ex-girlfriend that was Jamaican. I used to always tell her, like, why you don't want to go back to Jamaica? Why you don't like to go back to Jamaica? And she said that her family puts so much pressure on her when she comes back to provide things for them, just to give them things and give them stuff and do this and do that she doesn't like to come back. Same thing with Lily, when we met Lily from the Bronx. And she says when she comes back here to DR, she don't even tell her family she's back here. Yeah. And she moved out here to Cana, and she's from Santo Domingo. So I understand. It's a lot of pressure because people here are living. Some people are living poor, but I always combat that conversation with them I always tell them, I said, a lot of people don't know, me and my mother, we shared a bed till I was 5, a twin bed, and we didn't even have a door on our bedroom in my grandparents' house. So I didn't even know we were poor. Mm-hmm. But that was the best time of my life. You know what I'm saying?
As kids, you don't know that.
You don't know that.
You don't.
It's the best time of my life.
You just want to be loved.
That's it. Because that was when I would say we felt, because it was all of us in the house. It was me, my mom, my grandma, my grandfather, my cousin, my aunt, my uncle sometimes. So it was a lot of us in this, like, basically 2-bedroom house with a walk-in closet that me and my mother was sleeping in. And we grew up, that's how I grew up. And the best time of my life.
Yeah.
Best time of my life. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know no better. So when I see some of the kids here, it reminds me of myself, because I'm like, okay, you may not have material things, but you got family.
You got the family. And that's one thing I like about here too. It's the family value.
Yeah, family value, yeah.
I mean,
I mean, like now, as a single man trying to date here, that family value, it kind of, to me, the way I am,
yeah.
because I'm gonna put my woman first, right?
Hmm.
But you got whatever I'm doing for my woman, we had to be on the same page, so it has to be reciprocal. So if I'm putting you first, you I'm gonna expect you to put me first. Now, as a man, I can't. That's the conundrum that I have, is because a lot of these women have children, and a lot of these women are very close to their family. So, and I'm just like, okay, I'm not gonna give you 100%, and I'm getting 50%. So I'm gonna give you 50% of me. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if you're really family orientated and you want to put your kids first, that's cool. But I'm not taking care of everything. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But if you like, hey yo, I'm dedicated, because I remember somebody told me your kids are gonna eventually grow up and get their own family and get their own life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, listen, a woman, if I meet a woman here, and I would prefer to meet a woman here with no children or with some adult children that are independent, and somebody that's not dependent on their family. And she's like, hey, listen, I'm 100% yours. I'm dedicated to you. I'm gonna give that woman the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to work. You ain't even really got to clean if you want. I got a housekeeper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand, but
Yeah.
it's the same point. It's their culture.
It's the and you know I
just
know.
you just gotta adapt. And as Americans,
Yeah.
we have to
We had to
adapt
do that
to
too.
their culture.
But you know I know, because I was my first wife was from Honduras,
Yeah.
and she was the same way. I know my mom sees it, she's gonna laugh. But remember we got married and we had our daughter, and and my wife was sending her mom $100 a month. And I was like, yo, what? Because I'm in charge of shit. I'm like, yo, where's this
Yeah.
$100 going? I said, what does your mother need $100 for? She has a husband.
Mhm.
Well, I just send the money to my mom so she can go get some coffee on Kennedy Boulevard. They live in North Jersey. I know people, they gonna be like, oh, this nigga wife live up in North Jersey. But she's on Kennedy Boulevard and she wants to go get some coffee. And I said, your mother's an able-bodied person. So her mother at the time was in her 40s. I said, your mother chooses not to work. There's nothing wrong with her. She's not disabled.
But I think we need to have in the States more of family value the way
We do.
some of these other cultures
do.
have.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was working, and this is honestly truth, what this one guy said. And he said, well, I don't have no money right now. I'm waiting for my parents to die and I'll be a millionaire. Because I'm gonna get all their money. I'm gonna get all their money and their insurance. So that's what I'm waiting on. I'm like,
Waiting for your moms to die?
he said, I'm waiting for my parents to die.
Man, my mom's gonna live to 100. I'm not
I'm
even looking to.
like, wow, this is like, I'd rather have my parents.
Yeah,
here
I'd rather
than
have
all
man,
the money in the world.
bro.
I'd rather have my
listen,
parents here.
That'll-
He literally said that. I looked at him like,
Listen,
this dude is.
look, that apartment I built out there, it's cool to get some money and some Airbnb, but that apartment is really there for my mother. Like, for my mother, I'm gonna put my mother's is turning 70 this year. I'm gonna put like a handicap rail in there. And my mother's fine. She's kicking. My mother is fine, moving and kicking. Because my mother, she never drank or smoked, so she's gonna be here for a minute. My grandfather's is turning 90 something this year, so she's
in
going
the genes.
Yeah, it's in the
So
genes.
we expecting you to live a long life
listen.
too, huh?
Yeah, I'm about to be the big 5-0 in a couple of years. You don't see no dye up in here or nothing. I lost my hair because of stress. You know what I'm saying? So. Hey,
Don't
man.
say my age.
Yeah. But you young too, though. You remember my man kept saying, you good.
Yeah, he kept saying, you
Yo.
look good, you look good.
I was like, yo, this motherfucker tell me I look good one more time. But I think the reason why we may look young is because, one, we worked inside. We were college educated guys and we had inside jobs. So the elements didn't take their tolls on us.
Yeah.
Working outside and hard jobs. And two, the way we carry ourselves. You know what I'm saying? I think that when you're a good person, good things happen to you. You know what I'm saying? And like when you get older, the way you are on the inside is gonna start to come out eventually in your face.
Oh yeah,
And
what you do in life.
yeah,
You know,
it's a
going
cause
to
and
bed
effect.
at 1, 2, 3 in the morning, hanging out in the
It's a
streets.
cause and effect.
Man, I'm in bed by 9:30, 10
Right.
o'clock. I'm in bed, but
I got
I'm
the-
up at 5:30,
I got-
6 in the morning.
I got the robe on 8 o'clock after I
Yeah.
showered. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking around in the robe. Y'all caught me in a t-shirt and some shorts today, but I'm normally walking around here in the robe. Roberto will tell you, he come over here, I got the robe on and shit. So I'm chilling. But I appreciate and I do understand and I love the values here. It's just difficult for me
Mhm.
because I'm an all or nothing guy. Like you're not gonna give me 50, 60%
Yeah.
and then expect me to give you 100. I'm gonna give you 50. I'm gonna match your energy. And I think that's the problem with a lot of the women here. They be like, well, why you ain't doing all this? Well, why you ain't doing all that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be here and take care of me like that. So why
Yeah.
should I be taking care of you like that? And with my ex, me and Roberta were talking. I was like, if she probably only had one kid, because she wasn't really up her family's ass like that. She loved her family, but she was so damn independent, man. God, this woman, boy. She reminded me of a sister from the States so bad, man. She was just like super independent. But she loved her boys, man. And then I eventually fell in love with them little jokers too. But if she only had one, the oldest one,
You might still be there.
I would have married her for sure. We'd have been married. You know what I'm saying? I definitely would have married her because I would have married Angie. But it was difficult for me to swallow that it's her kids.
Yeah.
What kind of man would I be to expect her to put me before her kids?
Mhm.
And as a man, and it's just me. Like I know what I bring and what I offer. You know what I'm saying? So for what I offer and what I'm bringing, I just ask for you gotta match that. And even if you try to match it, like if you take one, I'm like what the Muslims say a lot. If you take one step towards me, I'm gonna take two towards you. So you can't just sit there running in place and you're not taking no steps towards me to show me like I'm gonna take. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like it was impossible for her to work a 10-hour job, take care of her boys, come here, clean my house, cook my food, lay down with me. It was just impossible. It was impossible. And it was that's why it didn't work because it was impossible. And I wasn't to the point where I was like, the relationship wasn't that long where I was gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna take care of everything.
Yeah.
I needed to see who
You
you
needed
was.
time.
I needed
Yeah,
time,
you
and
needed time.
here they're like, let's go. These women are ready to go. If you are a man in the States and you want to fall in love and it's not hard, but you come out here and you present yourself correctly. Because the women here know that
They're ready to lock you down.
They're ready. The women here are ready. If you got good intentions, you're a good man, and you meet a woman here and you wanna get to it, it's here for you. But me, I was just like, I need to see more from her, and I was like, yo, I'm not getting what I need from you, and it should have worked out, but I was like, yo, it's too new, and plus, when I came here, I didn't have the intentions of getting in a relationship. My intentions was to come here and play. I'm like, I'm gonna play for a couple years, you know what I'm saying? And I met her at the airport as soon as I got here. Like my first 2 times to Punta Cana, I met her and then I'm in a relationship. I'm like, damn, I ain't even get a chance to see what the island has to offer. But I know there's plenty out here for me. I'm gonna run into them organically. I don't like doing the online dating. I like to meet. I like to still. Brothers say I like to hunt. I like this. I like to meet my women, run up on them, and then see where they going, see where it's going. But it's difficult in the tourist area because if you meet a woman here, and she's not working, she's working.
What's up? She's
Yeah.
working.
Yeah, she doesn't have a job. like a physical job. She has a job. You just don't want to admit what her job is. You know what I'm saying? So, but we're gonna definitely, man. We're gonna wrap the show up because we didn't went on for a long time. I think this is gonna be one of our best shows, man. But it's just basically telling you what we like, and we didn't really get into the food and all that, the beaches and all that. The main thing is really just the stress, man. Like our stress level. I know my stress level went all the way down when I moved here. And if you're thinking about coming here to the island, I'm gonna give you my email. I'm gonna do a consultation for 150. Nah, I'm just playing. You got questions? Put them in the comments. You got questions for Roberto? Put them in the comments. We're gonna ask them. We're not gonna charge you. Come to Punta Cana, enjoy yourself. Roberto, you got anything for the people, man?
No, just
Good luck up.
we're living.
We're definitely living.
I mean, it's like I found a whole new life here.
Right.
Left the States. I'm not stressed. I
Right.
don't feel the tension.
Right.
I feel good. There's a lot of good people here.
Right.
A lot of good people.
What I always tell you, man,
Yeah.
it's not a bad life.
No, it's not. It's not. Yeah,
I think I
people
tell
here
them
are very friendly.
very friendly, very
and
friendly.
helpful.
And helpful.
You know,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I remember my car shut down on me. You know, my battery went dead.
Right.
And this guy literally just pulled on the side of me and got out. He said, "I don't have cables or nothing, but I'm staying here with you till we find somebody with cables."
Wow.
You know, and
Wow.
I was like, I really appreciate you. You know, so
Right. It's definitely it's a
Yeah.
beautiful island. I know you're gonna hear some disparaging things about the island, and some of them are true. But come experience it for yourself.
Yeah.
Come experience it for yourself. And like I said, thank you for tapping back in with us. I appreciate you. Like, share, and subscribe. Share this with your friends, man. You know what I mean? Some good information that we're giving out. And like I said, if you got any questions, put them in the comments below. I tend to try to answer all the questions that are in my comment section. And we'll see you on the next one. All right, peace.
peace.
All right, man.
I hope so.